Hey there, my friend. Welcome to the Relief Report. I'm Stephanie Clairmont, Registered Dietitian, Digestive Health Dietitian. You can find me at stephanieclairmont.com, and I'm also the founder of the Clarity Program. The Clarity Program is, we just closed the doors for it, so we're working with all of our new clients and members. It's the program, the system that I've used in my own life and with hundreds of my clients for all these years, over 6 years, to help them get really, really well and feel back to normal. That's how I show up and serve my clients. If you're interested in that, you can message us anytime to learn more about how you can work with me. But this and today is all about our Facebook Live show, the Relief Report, to give you that tips and advice and things that you need available to you right now to get you feeling good and normal and keep you connected in the world of digestive health, because things are changing, man, so fast. So today on the show, we have a couple of really cool things. We're going to talk a little bit about a new food that's released on the Low FODMAP app by Monash. We are going to talk about how exercise can actually really be contributing to symptoms. And this is a big deal. A lot of my clients have had to have this conversation with me about the role of exercise. And I know a lot of people with IBS, well, a lot of people exercise, but a lot of my clients have had this issue that this research is telling us about. So we're going to talk about that. And then at the end of the show, oh my gosh, big deal, guys. Low FODMAP foods are now available in a really big retailer. This is a huge deal. It's very exciting. Yay! IBS is on the radar, people. We're all going to be okay. All right, so let's get started. Monash, which is the lab in Australia, that one of the labs that tests foods for FODMAPs. And if you don't know what FODMAPs are, they are very easily fermented sugars that exist in some foods. And so the low FODMAP diet is a diet you follow for just 4 to 6 weeks, eliminating these very easy to ferment foods, and then you add them back in to identify what your tolerance is. And my clients, some of them can eat all kinds of FODMAP foods, but just in small amounts. Some of my clients actually need to avoid one category, but include other categories. So it's really important, if you want to do the low FODMAP diet, to do so with an educated registered dietitian who knows what he or she is talking about and has done this before, as well as you go through a really step-by-step plan to accomplish, getting relief, getting well, and then challenging foods to identify your threshold. So when we do this diet in elimination phase, or in the long term, when you might adjust how much FODMAPs you're having on a daily and weekly basis, it's important to know what foods are low in FODMAPs, which means they're more easily digested, and what foods are high in FODMAPs. So we use a little app, or we use tools in order to help us do that. Now, Monash University, this university in Australia, they have an app very well followed by people. And they just tweeted in July, a little while ago, that they've tested linseeds, and they are low FODMAP. What the heck is a linseed, my Canadian friends and American friends? We don't know. It's a flax. So, yay! For all of you that are following the low FODMAP diet in elimination phase, or you've started to challenge and add foods back in, and you're minimizing your FODMAPs, we've wondered about flax. We haven't been quite sure what to do with it. And so now we know that having a tablespoon of flax at a serving, totally low FODMAP, so not a fermentable food, so will do your body probably just fine. So the funny thing is that in Australia, it's English, but we have different words for things, so you have to kind of decode. All right, so our research update is a study that was released earlier this year on, is a systematic review. What a systematic review means is they kind of look at all the studies. So it's not like a new study, but they kind of review what's out there to give us a good amount of information, kind of like a general consensus of what's been done so far. So systematic reviews are great research to acknowledge. When we're reading media, when we're reading newspaper articles, magazine articles, listening to people on the news, sometimes they just quote one study, and it could be a poorly done study, could be a study of 10 people, could be different populations. So systematic reviews are great research to kind of look at and learn from. So this was on exercise-induced gastrointestinal symptoms. So what that means is they're looking at when GI symptoms, so things we all have with IBS, gas, bloating, discomfort, pain, diarrhea, constipation, those kinds of things, how it's related to exercise, and that exercise can actually bring it forward. So the main points from this study are that the academic community has coined the term exercise-induced, like GI syndrome, which means that you have your symptoms because of exercise, and I've had a few clients that have suffered with this, to describe these kind of changes that happen in some people. And so, what they're kind of showing is that the intestinal tract can lose a significant amount of blood during exercise, right? Because when you're exercising, there's blood going all over the place to your muscles, right? But not to your digestive tract, right? So exercise can pull away from that. And for some people, that can lead to inflammation, and for some people can lead to damage. And in this particular article, they say it can even lead to leaky gut, which we're just starting to learn more and more about in the literature. And so they could affect our bodies. Now, what they found was this is really related more to strenuous and endurance activities, long-term effects, and repeated injuries. Okay, so here's our take-home messages. The first one is make sure you're doing the right exercise for your body. Okay, make sure you know who you are and understand that exercise is still a really good thing, but we need to make sure we're doing the right ones. And this is something that our members ask us about a lot in the Clarity program. And so we have like a whole week's section on exercise and how to do it well to support your body. So I think it's really important that we all really learn that. So exercise you should be focusing on is kind of that low to moderate intensity. And you want to tailor exercise to how your body is coping to it. Pay attention to how your body reacts and really bring awareness to your body. So I'm smiling because I know that there are some of you out there that love strenuous activity. I've had members that, love to do triathlons, or runners, love really strenuous activity. You live your life the way you want to. You decide. But I just want to give you the information that you need to make the best choices you can. Okay? No judgment here. No judgment. You live your life. But just know what's causing your symptoms, right? Just know what's triggering you, and then you make the decision. You want to eat a giant pizza pie? Eat a giant pizza pie. Just know it's going to cause you issues. You want to run a marathon? Run a marathon. Just be aware of your body and just identify that might be causing you issues. So you want to stay hydrated. That's going to help. You want to bring awareness to your body, pay attention so you can see, what your level of, that high endurance exercise might be best for you. If you can maybe do moderate, eat well for exercise. So ensure that you have a plan to do so. There's some evidence that supports low FODMAP diet leading up to running events may reduce gut-related symptoms. So remember, we're talking about something that they've termed as exercise-induced gastrointestinal syndrome. So they're kind of terming this as something different from IBS, although it definitely could be related. And so we haven't had a lot of studies come out on low FODMAP diet and exercise-induced GI symptoms. But what we're saying here in this particular research review is that low FODMAPs, perhaps like eating really well for digestion, I would say, along with low FODMAPs prior to race days or high endurance activities could definitely help symptoms, right? So we want to know the role of exercise, but we want to know that a plan is really important in order to get you feeling really well. So if you do want to do exercise, choose the right ones for your body. But if you're one of my runner people, a triathlete, a racer, someone that does really high endurance activities. What's that other one? You know what I'm talking about. All those endurance things. Oh, CrossFit, all that kind of stuff. You might be able to do it. You need to bring awareness to your body, but following a plan to eat really well for digestion, include digestive strategies, bring awareness to your body, adding everything you can, including following, the low FODMAP diet for a short term to identify your triggers, and then, challenging and identifying, your threshold, going through a whole system of doing that and really feeling supported and secure in the strategies that can help you. Really important, because doing all that can help you better perform. And then when you do that exercise that maybe is not the best for digestive symptoms, your symptoms might be minimized. That's what I found. The more strategies you put into place, the more you'll feel better and your symptoms will be better. So that's what they're saying here as well. The study focused on strenuous and endurance exercises. Most individuals don't reach this level of physical activity, so it depends where you are, and just all kinds of exercise can be really good. What we recommend in the Clarity program, what I would recommend to you today, is that low to moderate intensity. Now, Lauren's here. Hey, Lauren. For anyone else that's just joining us or watching, if you have any questions, please share them. If you want to give me a wave, a high five, a peace sign, I'm so happy that, you're here and you're live with me. I love answering your questions. I love providing you with this information to get you back to normal, to help you feel well. So always nice to see you here and answer any questions you have. If you're just joining me, this is the Relief Report for today, Wednesday, August 16th. And we've already talked about how flax seeds are low in FODMAP. So if you're following a low FODMAP diet in the elimination phase, or you're eating well for digestion and you're eating like moderate FODMAPs long-term, flax seeds at 1 tablespoon can fit into your smoothies or your oatmeal, my friends. So that's very exciting. And then you want to really, pay attention to what kind of activity you're doing. Make sure you have as many strategies you can for digestion in your plan so that you can do all the things you want to do. And finally, let's talk about this. Who knows who showed up and is now selling low FODMAP bars in store? Who knows? We have 10 people here live. Come on. Anybody read this article or read this in the news? This came out August 4th. We're a couple weeks late here, on who is carrying low FODMAP foods. So this is great for all of our people who are on that strict elimination phase, or for people who are just minimizing the amount of FODMAPs they have on a day-to-day basis. The bar that you can now find is the True Self bar. So True Self Food is actually a line of low FODMAP bars and snacks by Dr. Michelle O'Brien. I know a little bit about Dr. Michelle. I think she kind of either personally or her family has gone through digestive issues, and that's why she started her company. I could be dead wrong though. We've had quite a few new low FODMAP foods and bars and companies coming out in the world. So we got to try to keep up, guys. But the thing here is that it's tough to find low FODMAP foods, right? So, you need to be sticking to as much whole, good, wonderful food as you can. But having a bar can be so helpful for travel. Oh my gosh, travel, right? For having it in your purse, for just making sure you're fueled and hydrated properly. So I love that we're seeing some low FODMAP bars out there that are just going to help aid in our digestion. So many bars are really high in FODMAPs that can be super irritating, like they have dates or dried fruit. They have inulin in them. Those are kind of the two big culprits. I just went to a conference a few weeks ago. I went and did Tony Robbins for 4 days, and I brought all these bars, and none of them were low FODMAP, and I couldn't eat them. They were causing me serious issues. So I love that we have, the True Self bars now. We have Happy Bars. Fody has some bars. That's really cool. But Dr. Michelle and True Self Foods have got their bars into Walmart. This is amazing. So accessible. So they are now available at walmart.com. So you know what, that is amazing news, and it's such great news. And I think it's great news for 2 reasons. One, yay. Now low FODMAP bars are more easily, we can get them easier, right? Like they're more accessible. But 2, that is a damn snowball. Like as we see more low FODMAP foods come out, these companies are working their buns off to make them available to people, and they have to get in the doors. So as we see one door open, like I think Fody Foods is in Wegmans in the US, like in a few different stores. And now we're seeing low FODMAPs at walmart.com. Like it's just gonna pick up and snowball, and we'll see more options come out, and we'll see more availability in more stores, like, in different places, and then we'll physically see them, and this is just, the beginning to allow those of us with digestive health issues to kind of get those foods that we really need. Now, remember, there's a place for these foods. We want to eat as good and whole and natural as we can. That's good for our bodies. But having the availability of, a few snack foods or a bar is so good. So we're just going to continue to see this snowball. The other cool thing is maybe we'll see more companies come up and more options happen, and more variety, and maybe it'll hit restaurants, and we'll be able to see. Now remember, low FODMAP is a short-term diet, 4 to 6 weeks that you follow very strictly, and you have no FODMAPs in your diet. Then you need to add these extra strategies in to help you heal the gut and eat good for digestion. You can go into a challenge phase where you challenge FODMAPs and figure out, oh, I can have these ones, but I can't have these ones. Or I can have this much, but I can't have this much, or I can have it at 2 meals a day, but not all day long, So you want to really make sure that you head into that. And then these low FODMAP foods fit because, we can have a low FODMAP bar and that won't trigger symptoms. And then we can have other foods that we know, work well for our body and have FODMAPs kind of throughout the day in different places. So I really love the availability of the low FODMAP foods because it allows us to say, here's my baseline of eating good for digestion, my good for digestion strategies, low FODMAP, and then I'm going to have, a little bit of mushrooms in my omelet. I'm going to have a little bit of, garlic in my soup tonight, or I'm going to have a little bit of bread, or I'm going to have a little bit of this, so it allows you to kind of have that baseline. So yay for True Self. thanks for busting through Walmart for us and, seeing this snowball come forward. So that's it for today's relief report. If you guys have any questions, any concerns, if you are watching the replay, always jump on and give me a thumbs up or give me a hi. I love seeing you guys here. If you like these shows, let us know. If there's something more you want from us, or if there's more ways we can serve you and provide you with information in these shows, let me know. I'm totally open to that. The Clarity program, the doors are now closed. So if you missed out on that program, I know some of you were kind of hearing about it near the end. We closed down the doors so we can really focus on our clients and our members that are getting started with the plan so they can do really, really well. We will open the doors again, but we want to make sure everyone's doing really, really well before we add new clients and members to the program. I'm going to just post the link to the waitlist here. If you missed out on that program, you can just join the waitlist, and I'll send you some information about the program and when the next time we open up doors will be, and then you can be the first on the list as well. So I'll send that I'll put that in the comments here right now. Otherwise, my loves, you have a great day. Bring awareness to your body. Identify, what's going on. Think about your exercise. We all need exercise, but good exercise. Holly says thanks. You're welcome, Holly. Laura says thanks. My pleasure. Anne was here. Lauren was here. Alita's here. So nice to see you guys. I'm going to talk to you all real soon, okay? Have a great week. I'll see you back here next Wednesday at 10 a.m. for another edition of the Relief Report. Bye for now.